Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's keeping well. Obviously, now we're into December, winter's coming upon us, and of course, Christmas, which is always a nice time, isn't it? So, today, what I'm going to do is talk about an upgrade that I've just got. So, it's not going to be a review as such, it's all just going to be about how it performs differently to what I had. So basically, in I think it was end of August, September, I think, I bought an R6. I've decided to go mirrorless for a few reasons, really. One really being my eyesight and the tracking facility. So 2 years ago, I bought 7D Mark II, second hand off eBay. Good one. Um, Everything about it is what I expected. Can't complain. But what I have found is with me wearing glasses and my eyesight being quite bad without my glasses, I do find using the R7 a little bit difficult, as in what I see through the viewfinder, with it only being an LED. And the diopter on the lens, I can adjust it, but it's not as good as I'd like it, to be fair. Now, I'm not one of these who I could take my glasses off, adjust the diopter, do that, but when I have to review my pictures, I've got to put my glasses back on. So it's a constant on, off, on, off, on, off with my glasses, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse, really. So I decided to go mirrorless. So I bought I bought the R6, and it's the same, pretty much the same megapixel count as the D7. Sorry, the 7D. But the features, obviously, it's far superior. Everything about the camera is superior. It's what an excellent piece of kit. I was in a dilemma about should I get the R5 for 45 megapixels, but at the end of the day, 20,000 megapixels is more than enough for my wildlife photography. You start going bigger, and then you need bigger computer. You need faster read speed. You need faster processing stuff. So it's all right updating your camera, but you've got to update your computer. Well, I'm not getting into that. I'm not doing it professionally. I'm not selling my photographs yet, which I don't think I will anyway. So I didn't really see the reason to go to an R5. So R6, because back in my head, if I buy the R6, I can probably stretch myself to get a lens. So this is what I'm going to talk about today. 2 days ago, I took delivery of an RF 500. So it's a 100 to 500 lens. So it marries up with my R6 as it should. Now, when I got the R6, I bought the adapter for the EF lenses, yeah? Because obviously everything I've got is EF. I've got the 70 to 200. I've got forgive me, can't remember. 24, sorry, 24 to 70. And obviously the trusty old 100 to 400 lens. So they're all L series, they're all expensive lenses, and I was obviously loath that we get all these nice lenses, the camera manufacturers bring out new models and they change the mount. So a bit of research, and they said that the EF lenses work absolutely fine on the mirrorless with the adapter. So I got the adapter, and yeah, I have to say it does work fine. But the lens has gone a bit slower in the focusing, and I don't mean by loads, but to me, it's noticeably different from my 7D to the R6 with the EF lenses on. So that can sometimes become a bit awkward, really, when you're taking photos of, little buzzy birds, your blue tits, great tits, wrens. The list is endless. All these little ones that move quite fast. So when you track your bird, you want it quick. Now the good news with the R6, it obviously in electronic mode, the electronic shutter mode, it does take 20 frames per second. So even though the lens is slower, you will get that sharp picture. You may take, I don't know, like I say, 20 bursts, and you'll probably get 3 or 4 sharp because it's lacking in speed to focus. It keeps tracking it, it will focus, but it loses focus and gets it back again. So for me, I'm a little bit impatient sometimes. When I see something I want to photograph it. I don't want to miss the opportunity. And it was becoming a bit annoying, really, that sometimes the bird would come into focus and it's there for literally a second. It's there and it's gone. So you want to be able to pick up on that and get the picture and be happy. So, but that's what I found. That's what I found with the 100 to 400 on the R6. It works absolutely fantastic. Does well for video. Everything that it should do, it does do, but it's just much slower. So maybe you're thinking, well, hold on, I could do with a bit more reach anyway, because on the D7 it's a crop sensor, so you do get a little bit more reach anyway. But with the full frame camera, which obviously the R6 is, whatever lens you put on it, that's what you're getting. So that was another reason where I thought, well, if I get the 500, it's going to give me that little bit more reach. And if I really, really wanted to, I could probably get a converter. But I'm not a lover of converters, to be honest. So anyway, at the minute, I've only had this new lens it's third day today. So I'll probably, use it in the field for a few months and then maybe do a review. I don't know. But for now, I wanted to try a few things with it, with the new lens. One, how fast it was. Well, I can tell you now, it's a lot faster than the 100 to 400 with the converter on. Much faster. It locks on very, very quickly. But it's still got its downside. It does miss focus. Now, that's not down to the camera or the lens or me, really, come to that. It's the expectations that people have of these latest technology. It will miss when you're trying to get through small branches and foliage. Yeah, you've got a little bird, it's in a tree, it's in the foliage, and it just takes that little bit of extra just to get past all that and lock on the bird. You have to remember that, a camera's a camera. No matter how much money you spend, a camera uses contrast to focus. So it'll always focus on the nearest thing to it. That's not a fault of the camera or the lens, is it? That's just the way it is. So once you overcome that, there's a few things you can try. You can go to the spot focus with a little extra helper in the middle with the dot. That tends to go through okay. And obviously you go back to the square. So everything that you do is down to you. So anybody that gets the RF 100 to 500 or any RF zoom lens and finds that it misses sometimes, well, it's not the camera, it's not the lens, it's not you, it's just the way it works. So that's one thing I wanted to try. So the speed, yeah, extremely happy. It's really fast. Focusing on birds that are in foliage, yes, I am extremely happy. It only lost focus a few times. And sometimes that might have been down to me as well. Not pointing it in the right place. It's very difficult sometimes, as you know. So up to now, it's doing the things that I was hoping it would do, and the end result is nice, quality, sharp pictures. So I've put a few bits together so I can actually talk you through some and show you what I've actually done in the last 2 days. I haven't been out anywhere. I've just been in my wildlife garden because that's what I've got here. You know, I've got me the land next door that's overgrown, that's full of wildlife. I've got my bird table set up, which obviously is attracting some birds at the moment. So ideal opportunity. Len's delivered on I think it was 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Gets it out, checks it out, go into my summer kitchen, away we go. I've got photographs immediately. So I've done a bit of that. But before I get into showing you the photos on the 100 to 500 lens, I want to show you something that happened, and it was the last time I used my 100 to 400 lens. I was in my summer kitchen, just trying to photograph. I think it was the birds and the mouse at the bottom of the bird feeder as well, a video and some of that. And lo and behold, a young male sparrowhawk landed on my post, my fence post in the garden. Couldn't believe it, and I had to move so slow so it didn't see me. And it's just started to hunt next door in my land and around the area. Yeah, but obviously with the birds feeding up the feeding table, it's attracted it, so it came in close, I think, to have a look. And after a few shots that I did do, it flew into my fern tree next to my shed, quite low, and I think it was waiting for something to happen, a bird to come on. But as I tried to move my camera in my kitchen, I think it did notice something move, as in me, and it flew off. So I was hoping to get some shots of it, obviously hunting and maybe get something, but it didn't happen that way. Never does it? And it flew off. But this last week, it's been around and in the garden every day. I was out trying the 500 lens the day I got it. No, sorry, the second day I got it. Yesterday I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. I was down beside of the chicken coop, and I was right tight up to the chicken coop with obviously dark clothing on, and I was trying to photograph small birds, testing out the lens yet in thicket. Anyway, I spotted there was a few house sparrows in a bush, which is quite branches everywhere in proper thicket. So I focused on that, and I got like, well, I got a few nice shots, but I won't put them all on. But I got a few nice shots of the house sparrow, and then I heard the wren, and the wren flew up into another bush next to it, and that was proper deep in thicket. Anyway, I managed to get it, and it is actually quite sharp. I was actually amazed really at how it focused on it. So I was happy with that. But suddenly, the house sparrows made an alarm call and flew off. And I thought, oh, okay, what's going on here? And I looked up, and in me walnut tree, I'm not joking, it was probably 10 foot away and just up. The sparrowhawk had landed on the branch, obviously going for the sparrows. And I just froze. And I thought, well, if I move now, I'm never going to photograph it. Anyway, as soon as I lifted my arm up to photograph it, obviously saw me and it flew off. So I could, but that happened in such a split second, I didn't manage to capture that. but it's really fantastic to see this sparrowhawk. I know it's a male, and I know it's a juvenile. It's quite young because it's still quite small. I know the males are smaller than the females anyway, but it is still small. So maybe it's one of these this year's fledglings. Um, but anyway, I've got photographs on it here, and I'll show you. And let's get on to that side, shall we? But first, coffee. So here we go. The last day that I used my 100 to 400 EF lens. Young sparrowhawk came to land on my post. Having a bit of a look round, see what's happening. But look at the colours, look how sharp the 400 lens does it. It's looking straight at me there, look at that. Unbelievable. But what a beautiful bird that is. What a lovely looking hawk. So then it flew from there off that post onto my shed roof, and you can see there just on the back on the foreground the fern tree. It walked down the roof a little bit and then flew onto the tree. So I couldn't get any more photographs than that, but it's amazing. How wonderful is that? And then it flew off. Okay, first of all I wanted to do some video footage. So there was a woodpecker in another one of the walnut trees, and look how sharp. I've left it standard. The only thing I've done is raise the shadows a little bit because it was quite dark in there. But as you can see, I'm at 500mm and I'm handheld, and I'm not the best for handhelding people, so this is what it does. But it did lose focus just the once, which I've left in to show you. It's coming up after this next frame, I think. No, there we go. So it just lost focus there. I'm not sure why. Maybe it just caught a branch. Yeah, it did there. And then it got it straight back. So quite happy with that, really. Not bad for the first capture. So next up, some stills. There again, 500mm. And then we'll get on to the small birds next. So next up, a house sparrow. Look how sharp that is. Absolutely lovely with the sunflower seed. And next coming up is the blackbird. Now, I have to tell you that it was early in the morning this, and the ISO was 10,000. Look at the quality and the detail. Unbelievable. So I've put a couple of shots in with the blackbird. The trusty old blackbird, the sergeant major of your garden. Lovely. But yeah, ISO was quite high at 10,000, and it's still pretty sharp. So next up, obviously, the house sparrow I was talking to you about in the thicket. Proper thicket. This is to test the lens, yeah? Not the best composition, but test the lens. And then the wren, that was the hardest one. I mean, look at the branches and the thicket around that bird, and it's still focused on the eye. That's amazing. And then on to 2 or 3 great tits. Looks like that one's just come out from having a bath. There you go, there's a branch above its eye and it's still focused on the eye. Branch in front of its face, still focusing on the eye. And I was using eye tracking as well. Same again, close to the beak and the eye. Focus on the eye. This is what I was trying to do, guys. I was seeing how good the focus system is. And this one is the last one. I love that. It's a winter picture, that, with the red berries. But look how sharp. Okay then, so next up is a little bit of capturing of the mice. Now this was done on the R6, but I think it was my 100 to 400 lens. Very cute. Okay, last but not least, I thought I'd do a few insects. So 500mm zoomed in, and look at the result of that. Unbelievable. So not only is it a 100 to 500 telephoto lens, you can use it as a macro lens too. Have some fun with that. So the detail is just unbelievable, isn't it? And obviously the butterfly, which is the last one, I had to change the orientation for that because it won't fit in the frame, so I've changed it. But look at that, look at the detail, unbelievable. So there you go, that's my new Canon 100 to 500 RF lens, and I have to say I'm thoroughly overjoyed with it. It's excellent. I know I've only had it 3 days, and the images I've taken, they're not the most best composition, but that wasn't the idea at this time. It was this, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's not a review, it's just what I feel about the R6 and the 100 to 500 lens now. I've made some little tests, we've seen the results, and I'm happy. So yeah, no review, just what I feel. I hope you like the content. So if you like to see more of just an open conversation, no technical data, just as it is, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any more up and coming videos that I'm doing. It will help the channel. I want it to get out as far as I can, so obviously the more likes the better. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Laters.